Okay guys, welcome to Icesoft Original, and on today's video we're gonna explain how we can develop our own web browser which handles tabs. It's been a while. People are requesting for such videos with a deeper explanation, but quite simple. So today I'm back again online to let you know how you can deal with that. So by the end of the day, you can create your own web browser which handles tabs. You can add tabs, you can remove tabs, you can do a lot of stuff with this. So just follow me. First of all, just create a new project. So you need to create a new project, then you give your project a name, then we move forward. So here's the case. I will be choosing Visual Basic, and then I will be choosing Windows Form application. Then I will be adding a name, calling this Icesoft browser. So you can go along and then give your project any name at all, any name your heart desires, and that will be working perfectly fine. This will be a quick tutorial. I believe we won't be spending a lot of time for this particular project. Yes. Yeah. Okay guys, so this is your project and you have first created your project. What you need to do is just give your project a space, which will be very fantastic. And before we get started, let's work with some settings for this particular form. So just go to the form and then go to the Windows Start position, and for the Windows Start position just choose center screen, and I would like to maximize my form anytime I load this. Good. So this is my form. I don't need anything else. The only thing I need, the only thing I need is a menu strip, right? So let's add a menu strip, just one menu strip up here, and then let's say this is file. Let's give it a name like file, right? So under file we have add tab, right? And then we want to remove tab. Then quickly let's set shortcut keys to them so that we can assign them, right? So shortcut keys, we will say control plus T, which will be add tab, and that is very interesting, right? So we'll just deal with that, and then let's select this which is remove tab. We would like to choose control plus R, right? So that will definitely remove the tab for us, and I believe that is what I need for now. Now let's add a tab page, or let's say a tab control, just in a normal default tab control. Now select on the tab control and then dock the tab control to the parent container, right? But first of all, let's add a status strip, right? Let's add a status strip. So that guy will be here, and as you can see, the status strip, it is gonna work perfectly fine. It will be here. I think I need to add a status strip. Oh, sorry, it added to the panel. Sorry. So this is my status strip. I'll just add a status, then I'll say that, let's say maybe status, yeah. Then I will add a progress bar for now. Sorry. So I'll just add a progress bar for now, and that progress bar will be indicating whether it's been loaded or not. And then let's add a label, and then for this label let's clear everything. So that label is going to serve us our loading stuff here. So let's go to the tab control, and then for the dock style just fill it, right? Fill it to everywhere. Now select the first tab, click on empty space, then delete it. Click and then delete it so that you get an empty tab control page, right? So let's go to the form and let's give the form a short a little bit. Now let's see the name of the form, that is form 1. So I will quickly say that Icesoft browser. You can go along and then give any name at all your heart desires, and that will be very interesting. Good. So let's go to project, and then let's create a new user control, right? And this user control is going to be our web page, right? So let's give it a name like web page, right? Okay, so make sure you have selected user control, and then click on that. Automatically it will just create this page for you. Now enlarge it as you wish to do. Yes, enlarge it as you wish to do so, right? Okay, so let's add a panel. I would like to add a panel, and then I will just add a panel here. And for the panel, I will just dock the panel to the top, right? So just dock it to the top, something like that. And that is very, very interesting, right? So let's add some buttons. I like to add about 5 buttons, but I would like to copy paste, so I will just rearrange everything. Then let's set the font size for this to be, let's say, I think 12 is quite good. Alright, so let's choose 12 for now. I believe 12 is quite good. And then the text on the button, I will change this to the back sign, the less than sign, and then I will just squeeze it a little bit back, and then I will just copy and paste the same thing, right? Just hold Ctrl C, Ctrl V on the same thing, which is the same panel, then change the direction. So that is it. That is the navigate back, navigate forward. And you can paste another one, which is you can use H to represent your home, or you can simply say home, right? Good. So you just extend it a little bit, and then that will give you the home. Just copy the home, and then you can say that this is refresh, right? So this is, let's use this as the home, and then let's use this as the refresh, right? So that is gonna refresh the page, actually the page for you, and that is very, very fantastic. Now let's add 2 buttons right here. This will be the first one. Good. And this will be the second one. Good. So the second one is gonna be our search, right? So that is good. And then this is gonna be our downloads. Good. So you can just reposition everything, and that is gonna work perfectly fine. If I'm moving fast, please forgive me. I believe due to my time factor, that is the reason why I am really running very fast. So just give a shot. Let's add a text box, and then for the font size of the text box, I would like to choose 14 for now to see how it works. So that means I need to increase my font size to maybe 18. I think I need to increase it to 20, which will be quite enough for me. Okay, so I believe the 20 is quite enough for me. So just scale it up to this section, and everything is done. Now let's work with the anchor points, right? So hold Control and then click the 2 of these, right? Now go to the property section. Let me just pop this guy up here. Then let's see, for the property section, let's see the anchor. We have the anchor points, right? So the anchor, just add this and remove that. Good. And then select only the text box and then add right to that, and that is going to work perfectly fine. Now let's add the last components, or let's say the last 2, which is our web browser, right? So we have to add our web browser here, and admittedly it will just fix your screen for you. That is very, very interesting. So don't forget to save your project when you are done. Alright, so on this text box, let's give these some names so that we will be recognizing it, and I believe everything is going to be fun when we do that. Yes, so let's go to the name. Let's call this BTN back so that we will be recognizing them, and let's call this BTN forward. Good. I think I spelled it wrong. Good. Okay, so let's call this BTN refresh. So BTN refresh, and then let's say this is BTN home. So BTN home. Good. And then this is going to be our text box, so txt url, right? So let's say this is going to be our btn search. Good. And this is going to be our btn downloads. Good. So that is it. We have, and then let's say this is our web browser. So let's say that browser, let's call it browser. Good. So that is our browser. So what we're gonna do is go to the right click and then go to view codes, right? View codes. So it will just bring you to this section. Let me add 200, I believe, so that you can see it very clearly. So this, right? So I think from here we need to import system.net, right? So let's import system.net so that it will be using the features of an internet component, right? So we have added system.net. Now let's go to this guy, which is web page event, right? So from the web page event you can see a lot of events here. So let's search for the loading event. That means when the web browser, when this current page is being loaded, what should it do? So let's add some codes, right? So we will say that our web let's say our browser, which is our web browser component we added, our browser.navigate, it should navigate us to a certain URL, right? So the navigation URL, I would like by default, I would like to add by default, let's say https://google.com. that will be my default, right? So after it's been done, I will say txt_url.text equals to, then I just add the same URL, right? So I'll say https://google.com. Good. And that is quite interesting. So anytime this browser launches, it will then load our google.com for us. Good. So let's double click on this back btn back and its click event. When the person clicks on that, we will say that browser dot go back, right? So just simple as that. And then let's say this one is going to be browser dot go forward, right? And then we just gonna say that refresh. So we say that browser dot refresh, right? Good. And for the home, we will say that browser dot navigate. So whatever home page you would like to use. So I would like to use google.com, or let's say ghanaweb.com for my home page. So I'll say that https://ghanaweb.com, right? So that is how I really love it. And then after I'm done, I'll say that txt_url.text should also navigate to this, right? So let's do this. Should be equal to, right? So it will just navigate this, right? All right, so let's see our search, right? Good. So on the search, we're going to say that our browser should navigate something, but what is it should navigate this time is our txt_url.text. So whatever you type into your txt_url.text is gonna navigate to it's gonna open up in your browser, and that is very fantastic. So let's go to the downloads, and then we will say that process.start. So the process should start something, right? So what you need to do is just go to your local drive, and then go to your C drive. I think go to your C drive, and then go to users, and then go to Media Host Ghana. It depends on the name you've chosen, and then select your downloads. Good. So after that, just click here to get your URL, and then copy that. I believe that is good. Then you come and paste it here. That is perfect. So good, we are good to go. But now let's see something. When I start the project, you will see that admittedly it is working perfectly fine. It's now in a full screen mode. We can see add tab, blah 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 blah. Nothing is happening, right? So now before we get started with the this page coding, let's go back to here and then go to build and then click on build solution. So it is building solution from here, right? It is building solution. Wait for it. It will tell you that building successful, no errors. If you typed all the codes very well, it will surely tell you that you have completed everything done. And if it is taking a longer time for it to build, don't worry, just go to build and then click on rebuild. So rebuild, it will just rebuild everything for you. Good. Now when we go to our form, you can see that we now have our web page, which is our user control here. We now have it inside our toolbox, so we can now call that, right? We can now call that. Now let's double click on the main form, which is our form 1 load event. We want to tell the form 1 to load something, right? We want to tell the form 1 to load something. So before we do that, I would like to add a lot of stuffs in this. So before I do that, I want to say that this is gonna be let's give a private sub, and then let's say this is gonna be events, right? Events. Good. So inside this event, I think event is, let's use this tools, right? Okay, so inside this tools private sub we just created, we're gonna say that we're gonna declare our web, let's say our page as, let's declare page as web page, right? Our web page we developed equals to new web page. So we are declaring page as our web page, which is this design we created, equals to be a new web page, right? So wherever we type page, we refer to this, right? So let's give the page a name. We will say that page dot name should be it should be let's give it a name. Let's say page, just like that. Let's give it a, so that it will be recognized in the tool in the property section. Now let's say that page dot doc equals to doc style fill. Let's fill it, right? Good. Then we are going to say that after it's been filled, we're going to say that our tab control 1, so our tab control 1 dot controls should add something, which is our tools, right? Oh sorry, our page, so this code here, this short code, we have declared a lot of we have declared a short codes right here, right? So let's do something right now. Let's go to the form load and then we will say tools. So instead of us typing all these codes here, we just declared them as a private sub, then we called it here. So let's start it once again. You see that automatically as soon as it starts, yes, we will soon get our browser. Okay, why do we, oh okay, we didn't added a tab page, right? So we will say that as soon as we load this particular form, we will say that tab control 1 dot tab pages dot add, so it should add a tab. So let's give it a shot. Let's call it a tab, right? So on this tab, it's not being declared as a statement, so let's declare the tab as a statement, right? So we will say dim tab as new tab page, right? So wherever we see tab, we're gonna declare it as a new tab page, right? So we can even cut this, and then we will just add it to this, right? So admittedly, it will just add a tab page to our form, right? So let's start it once again. Now you will see that it will just add. Okay, so I think tab control dot add page couldn't add tab control. Only tab pages can be directly add to the tab controls. Okay, so we will not say that it should add the tab page, but it should rather add the tab, right? So it should rather add the tab instead, and then the tab is gonna add itself. So let's say tab dot controls dot add. So the tab dot controls are going to add the page, right? Good. I think we declared okay, so let's bring this here. I believe so. That will solve the problem. Good. That is all. So we said that we are declaring a page as a web page, which is this whole form, right? Good. And then we said that the page name is going to be page, and then we said that the page.docstyle it should be filled. Good. And then we declared tab as a new tab page, which is a page within this tab control, right? Good. And then we said that tab control one dot controls dot add, it should add the tab page we added. So the tab page should also add this this particular page. So let's start it once again, and let's see if we will get some errors. So as you can see from here, that is the tab, and it just load our google.com, which is our home page which is our address we did. So let's see, when we click on home, let's see, it is navigating to Ghana web. Let's see if it will just browse Ghana web for us. Let's see if it will just browse Ghana web for us. So our browser is quite working perfectly fine, and as you can see, Ghana web is really working perfectly fine. Now let's see if we add, let's say google.com, let's say youtube.com, right? Good. And then we click on the search button. I believe it should be able to navigate us to the google to the youtube.com, and as you can see, it is working perfectly fine. When we click on the download button, it will just navigate us to our download folder, and that is also interesting and very beautiful. Beautiful. But look at the top here, you will see that it is empty, right? And then we've yet not added any add or remove tab or anything like that. So let's deal with that. So we will say that before we declared the tab as new tab page, we will say that our tab dot let's say text, right? Our tab dot text should be I think our tab dot text should be our web browser, our web page, right? So that will be our equals to our page dots. You saw that we added some buttons and then some text boxes and the rest, right? So we're gonna say that it should add the txt url.text, right? That should add it. So whatever it will be navigating inside there, that will be what will be on top. You can see that now we have the Google here, right? Good. So when I search on youtube.com, you will see that it will not be turning to youtube.com. Now it's still on Google. So wait a minute, we will work on that very soon. Good. Now let's go back to our form, and then let's double click on this add tab, So for this add tab, we will just say tools. Good. And that will also take the same effect from here. So let's do that and let's see something. So I have this. I can go to file, add new tab. Now you can see that I have two tabs. I can search for youtube.com for this, and then I can go to this tab and then search for facebook.com. I believe so. Think.com. Good. And that will also navigate me to facebook.com, and this is navigating me to YouTube, and this is navigating me to Facebook. So that means the browser is really working perfectly fine, right? The browser is really working perfectly fine. That is absolutely fantastic. Now let's work with a remove tab, so that the selected tab should be removed from the the whole system and everything. So to deal with that also, let's go to the form design and then double click on the remove tab, right? So we double click on the remove tab, and we're going to say that let's say that tab, right, which is our tab page. No, let's say our tab control 1 dot tab pages dot remove. So we're gonna remove tab control 1 dot selected tab, right? So that particular selected tab is gonna be removed. So that is how it works. So we can add a lot of tabs we want. So I can simply say Control T and it will create another tab, Control T T T T, and it just created a lot of tabs for me. And I can say the Control D, I think, was it Control R, yes, which is to remove that selected tab, right? So I can use them to remove it. That is how it works. So Control T for the shortcut in creating a new tab page is quite working perfectly fine. So you can remove it and everything is done. Let's check our time. I think we will not be spending a lot of time. Let's see if we can use this 3 minutes to work along with this Google stuff. Alright, so let's go back into the web page, and we have to okay, so let's add a timer. I would like to use a timer for the start. So for this timer, I will just use the interval to be 1 for now, and then I will fire set anytime. So let's double click on the timer, and we're going to tell the timer that our tab which we declared, right, let's say our tab dots, all right, okay, so we will just okay, tab page dot test, really good. So I think, okay, let's come to this search guy here, and I think that is the browser. So we will say that txt, we will say that form 1 dot tab, I think tab control dot okay, let's leave this for now. And I believe in our next upcoming video we will be working on that, because it will be taking a lot of time, it will be taking a time a little. Now let's see, I think we added some status strip here, but the time is not permitting us to we have only 1 minute to go, yes, and it is not permitting us to do this. So guys, I believe this is quite interesting. So you can add a new tab and you can remove tabs, and it's very fantastic, right? So that is how it goes. So I hope This tutorial helped you a lot and you have gotten the basic ideas in creating a web browser. My name still remains Ikesoft Original, and before I go, if you have yet not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more exciting videos. If you want to learn Visual Studio, then subscribe to my channel. Ikesoft Original is out.